If you ever find yourself stuck in a cycle of endless scrolling, binge-watching shows, or putting off important tasks, this book is for you. Dopamine Detox is written for anyone who feels distracted, unmotivated, or overwhelmed by constant stimulation in today's fast-paced world. This isn't just for people struggling with social media addiction or procrastination. It's for students who can't concentrate on studies, professionals who find it hard to stay focused at work, and creatives who feel their passion has faded. If you've noticed that it's getting harder to do deep work, or that you're always looking for the next quick hit of entertainment, then you're exactly the kind of person who will benefit from this guide. This book solves a modern problem: overstimulation of the brain's reward system. With notifications buzzing, content always available, and distractions around every corner, our brains have become hooked on quick dopamine spikes. As a result, we avoid hard, meaningful tasks and instead chase instant gratification. The goal of this book is to help you hit the reset button. By understanding how dopamine works and taking a break from it, you'll train your brain to enjoy focus, discipline, and long-term satisfaction again. This is about reclaiming control, not just over your time, but over your mind. To understand why we often feel tired, unmotivated, and distracted, we first need to understand something called dopamine. Dopamine is a chemical made by our brain. It's not something we can see or touch, but it has a big effect on how we feel and what we do. Every time you feel excited to do something, like checking your phone, eating your favorite snack, or even thinking about watching a new show, that's dopamine in action. It's often called the motivation chemical because it pushes us to do things that might reward us or feel good. But here's something important. Dopamine doesn't give you pleasure. It gives you the desire for pleasure. That means it's not the message or the video that makes you happy. It's the anticipation of getting it that makes your brain feel excited. A long time ago, this was very useful. Dopamine helped our ancestors survive by making them want to look for food, water, and shelter. It helped them stay active and alert. But now, things are different. We live in a world where we can get small bursts of dopamine all the time without working hard for it. You can scroll through social media for hours, binge watch videos, eat fast food, or play games that give you quick excitement. All these things flood your brain with dopamine very easily. And when your brain gets too much of it, too often, it starts to become numb to it. Just like someone who drinks too much coffee stops feeling awake after one cup, your brain needs more and more dopamine to feel the same level of excitement. So, what happens next? You start feeling bored more often. Things that used to feel fun, like reading, learning something new, or working on your goals, start feeling slow or too hard. You end up wanting the easiest, fastest form of fun all the time. That's when problems start. You might find it hard to focus, start procrastinating, lose motivation, or feel lazy, even though deep down you want to get things done. You might feel anxious or frustrated because your brain is used to being constantly entertained, and anything that takes time or effort just feels annoying. But this isn't your fault. You're not broken or lazy. The world around you is full of things designed to steal your attention and trigger your dopamine again and again. Companies and apps want you to stay hooked because that's how they make money. The more time you spend glued to your screen, the better it is for them, but not for you. That's why learning about dopamine is so important. Once you understand that your brain is chasing quick rewards and avoiding slow, meaningful work, you can finally take back control. The best part is that your brain can change. It can heal and reset. You can train yourself to enjoy deeper focus, more patience, and longer-lasting satisfaction. You don't have to be stuck in this cycle of endless distraction. The rest of this book will show you exactly how to do that, how to give your brain a break, remove the unhealthy distractions, and slowly rebuild your motivation and focus. And it all starts with understanding this one tiny chemical, dopamine. Now that we know what dopamine is and how it works, let's talk about the problem we face today: overstimulation. In simple terms, overstimulation means we're exposed to too much information, entertainment, and distractions, all of which trigger our dopamine systems in unhealthy ways. The world around us is constantly offering new things to grab our attention. Every day, our phones buzz with notifications, the TV shows us endless advertisements, social media constantly updates with posts, and our emails flood us with new messages. All of this is designed to keep us hooked. And the more we give in, the more dopamine we get. But here's the catch. The more dopamine we get, the more we need to feel good. It's like a drug. At first, just checking your phone might have felt exciting, but now you need to scroll for longer, watch more videos, or check for new likes and messages to get that same feeling. This is the problem. We've trained our brains to seek out constant stimulation, and because of this, we struggle to focus, be productive, and do the things that matter. Why? Because tasks that require effort and patience, like studying for exams, doing deep work, or even having a meaningful conversation, feel boring in comparison. Our brains are now used to quick rewards, and they get bored easily when we have to work for something. So, when you sit down to work, you might find yourself feeling restless, or maybe your mind wanders. You might check your phone, scroll through social media, or go online shopping, anything to get that small, quick hit of dopamine. Over time, this habit becomes so ingrained that it's almost like your brain can't do anything without seeking a quick reward, and that's exactly what's happening with modern technology. Apps, games, and even streaming services are designed to be addictive. They want you to keep coming back for more. You might say, "I'll just watch one episode," but the app automatically starts the next episode without you even asking. Before you know it, hours have passed, and you've done nothing productive. The same thing happens with social media. You might open your phone to check one notification, but then you end up scrolling for ages, liking pictures and commenting on posts. It's like you're on autopilot, constantly reacting to the next thing that catches your attention. The issue is, these behaviors aren't just time wasting. They also hurt our mental health. When we constantly seek out quick dopamine fixes, we start to experience emotional numbness. This means we might feel less excited or motivated about the things that matter, like pursuing long-term goals or spending quality time with family and friends. Instead, we chase fleeting pleasure, and it leaves us feeling empty. This also leads to a feeling of overwhelm. With so many distractions pulling us in different directions, it becomes hard to focus on one task for a long time. You might feel anxious or stressed because you know you're not being productive, but you can't seem to break the cycle. And even though we know that deep work, like learning a new skill or finishing a project, is important, we avoid it because it feels harder than the instant satisfaction we get from scrolling or watching videos. The problem is that we don't always recognize that this overstimulation is the source of our issues. We think we're just tired, lazy, or distracted, but the reality is that our brains have been rewired by constant dopamine hits. Our attention spans have shortened, and our ability to focus on important tasks has been diminished. But here's the good news. This problem is solvable. The brain is very plastic. It can change and adapt. By reducing the constant dopamine flood, we can slowly retrain our brains to enjoy focus, discipline, and long-term rewards. We can start to find satisfaction in hard work, slow progress, and meaningful activities again. But to do this, we first need to understand that the problem isn't about laziness or bad habits. It's about the overstimulation that modern life throws at us. Once we realize that, we can take the necessary steps to break free from this cycle and reset our brains. This book is here to show you how to do just that, how to stop the constant chase for quick rewards and start embracing real, fulfilling work. But before we dive into how to fix things, it's important to fully grasp the damage that this overstimulation is doing to our brains and lives. So, let's continue on this journey of understanding the problem in depth before we move into the solutions. Before we move on to the next part, I just wanted to ask, if you found this video helpful so far, it would mean a lot if you could give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Your support keeps us motivated to create more content like this. Every like, comment, and subscription helps us improve and stay on track with bringing you even better videos. So, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, your support makes a difference. Thanks a ton for being here with us. Enjoy the video. Now that we've fully understood the problem of overstimulation and how it impacts our brain, the next step is to talk about the benefits of a dopamine detox. You might be wondering, why is detoxing from dopamine such a big deal? What good can come from stepping back and reducing the constant flow of excitement and entertainment? The truth is, a dopamine detox is one of the most powerful things you can do to take control of your life, reset your brain, and get back to enjoying focus, discipline, and true fulfillment. When you take a break from constant stimulation, your brain gets the opportunity to reset. You're allowing it to recover from the overload of dopamine, which in turn helps you regain control over your attention. Think of it like cleaning out a cluttered room. When there's too much stuff, you can't think clearly or find anything. But when you take the time to declutter, everything feels more organized and you can focus on what matters. The same is true for your brain. By removing distractions and stepping away from the constant need for quick rewards, you give your mind a chance to recharge. This doesn't just mean feeling more relaxed. It means you'll start to experience increased mental clarity. Without the noise of constant notifications or entertainment demanding your attention, your thoughts become clearer, and you'll find it easier to think deeply. It's like you've taken off a pair of foggy glasses and can finally see things as they are. Another benefit of a dopamine detox is that it helps you reconnect with the present moment. Right now, most of us are living in a constant state of distraction. We're never fully present, always thinking about the next thing or the next notification. When you detox, you start to slow down and engage with the world around you. You'll find that the simple things, like enjoying a conversation, having a meal, or going for a walk, become much more satisfying. You'll feel more connected to what's happening right now, rather than constantly chasing something in the future. In addition to mental clarity and presence, a dopamine detox helps to improve your focus. When you take breaks from constant stimulation, you rebuild your ability to concentrate for longer periods. At first, you might struggle because your brain is used to jumping from one thing to another. But over time, as you give it space to focus, you'll find that you're able to stay on task longer and be more productive in your work and personal life. This doesn't just mean being able to work harder. It means you'll work smarter, with more attention to detail and quality. One of the most powerful benefits of a dopamine detox is that it helps you rediscover true joy and fulfillment in the things that matter. In today's world, we've been taught to find happiness in quick bursts of pleasure, watching a funny video, getting a like on our post, or eating something sugary. But these are temporary highs. A dopamine detox helps you appreciate longer-lasting forms of fulfillment, like achieving a goal, learning something new, or spending quality time with people you care about. These things take time, but the rewards are much deeper and more meaningful. Finally, a dopamine detox can help reduce anxiety. Constantly chasing the next reward, the next notification, or the next piece of entertainment can leave us feeling overwhelmed and stressed. But when you step back and slow down, you'll find that the world doesn't need to be constantly buzzing to be enjoyable. You'll experience more peace, calm, and control over your emotions. Instead of reacting to every little thing, you'll become more aware of your thoughts and actions, giving you greater emotional stability. In short, the benefits of a dopamine detox are far-reaching. By taking the time to step away from the constant noise and distractions of modern life, you'll improve your focus, mental clarity, productivity, and emotional well-being. You'll start to feel more present and engaged with the world around you, and you'll rediscover a deeper sense of joy and fulfillment that comes from long-term, meaningful experiences, not just quick hits of pleasure. And the best part? These benefits are available to anyone willing to take the first step toward detoxing their brain. To successfully detox from the constant overstimulation of modern life, you can follow a simple 3-step method. The first step is to cut out the quick hits of dopamine. This means eliminating the activities that give you immediate, easy rewards, like checking your phone constantly, scrolling through social media, watching random videos, or playing games. These activities are designed to keep you hooked by giving you little bursts of pleasure without requiring any effort. By limiting your use of these distractions, you begin to create space in your life for more meaningful activities. At first, it might feel uncomfortable, and you might find yourself reaching for your phone out of habit. But the goal is to disconnect from the constant need for instant gratification, allowing your brain to reset. Start by limiting your time on distracting apps, turning off notifications, or avoiding binge-watching shows. Instead of filling every free moment with these distractions, try new things like reading, journaling, or simply spending time with your thoughts. As you reduce these quick dopamine hits, you'll find that you're able to focus more and that the constant urge to be entertained begins to fade. The second step is to reintroduce slow, rewarding activities that provide lasting satisfaction. These are activities that require time and effort, but they bring deeper rewards in the long run. Things like learning a new skill, finishing a creative project, or even having a meaningful conversation with someone you care about are all great examples of activities that give you a sense of accomplishment. Start small by committing to read a book for 15 minutes a day or practicing a hobby for 20 minutes. The key is to enjoy the process rather than focusing on the immediate rewards. As you engage more in these activities, you'll begin to rebuild your ability to enjoy things that take time and patience, which in turn helps to replace the quick, fleeting dopamine fixes. Over time, you'll find that you crave these deeper, more fulfilling experiences and no longer feel the need for constant distractions. The final step is to create healthy routines and set boundaries. Now that you've reduced the constant stimulation and reintroduced meaningful activities, it's time to build a structure into your day that supports these changes. This means setting boundaries around your use of technology. For example, you could decide not to check your phone for the first 30 minutes after waking up or within an hour before bed. You might also create tech-free zones in your home, such as leaving your phone in another room while eating meals or working. These boundaries help create clear distinctions between when you're engaging with technology and when you're focusing on other activities. In addition to setting boundaries, it's important to establish a daily routine that includes time for things like exercise, personal development, hobbies, work, and relaxation. A routine helps keep you focused and ensures that your day is balanced, preventing you from falling back into old habits of filling your time with distractions. By sticking to this routine, you'll start to feel more in control of your time, which allows you to focus on what truly matters and enjoy a greater sense of purpose. Over time, these 3 steps, cutting out quick dopamine hits, reintroducing slow, rewarding activities, and creating healthy routines and boundaries, will help you break free from overstimulation, giving you the tools to regain control of your attention and focus. You'll feel more productive, present, and fulfilled, and you'll rediscover the satisfaction that comes from long-term, meaningful accomplishments. One of the biggest challenges when trying to reset your brain and complete a dopamine detox is overcoming procrastination. Even with the best intentions, it's easy to fall into the trap of putting things off, especially when it requires effort or doesn't provide immediate rewards. This is where the true power of the detox comes into play. It's not just about stepping away from distractions. It's also about developing the discipline to do the work that truly matters. Procrastination is often rooted in the discomfort of working without quick rewards, and a dopamine detox helps you move beyond that. To begin overcoming procrastination, you need to recognize that avoidance is often a defense mechanism. We avoid hard work or tasks that seem too overwhelming because we're seeking the instant satisfaction that we get from distractions. But here's the key. The more you avoid something, the more your brain becomes wired to associate that task with anxiety and discomfort. On the other hand, when you start doing the work and pushing through that initial resistance, your brain begins to associate the task with a sense of achievement and satisfaction. So, how do you start doing the work, even when you feel like procrastinating? It starts with breaking things down into smaller, manageable steps. Instead of looking at a huge task and feeling overwhelmed, break it down into smaller actions that feel achievable. For example, if you're writing a paper, instead of thinking about the whole thing, focus on writing just one paragraph or researching one section. By breaking tasks into smaller chunks, you take the pressure off and make them feel more doable. Once you get started, You'll often find that the momentum builds and it becomes easier to keep going. Another powerful way to beat procrastination is to create a work environment that is free from distractions. This can mean turning off notifications on your phone, using apps that block distracting websites, or setting up a clean, quiet space where you can focus. The goal is to create an environment that encourages you to stay focused and get into a flow state. Sometimes just changing your surroundings can help you get in the right mindset to do the work. When you're in a place that supports focus, it becomes much easier to start working and stay productive. In addition to a clean, focused environment, you can use the 2-minute rule to beat procrastination. The idea behind this rule is simple. If a task will take you less than 2 minutes to complete, just do it right away. This could be something small, like answering an email, folding the laundry, or making a phone call. The key is that by doing the small tasks immediately, you'll create a sense of accomplishment, and that will motivate you to tackle larger tasks. Over time, you'll start to build a habit of acting quickly instead of putting things off, which will help reduce procrastination. Another method to combat procrastination is to create a routine that incorporates regular work sessions. Just like we set boundaries for distractions, setting a specific time to work on tasks can help you stay on track. For example, you might decide that from 9 to 11 a.m. every day, you'll focus on deep work, whether it's writing, studying, or working on a project. Setting a schedule for your most important tasks allows you to build a rhythm and discipline, so you're not constantly trying to decide when to get started. Having a routine means that you're less likely to waste time deciding what to do, and more likely to get into a productive flow. Lastly, it's important to be kind to yourself when you slip up or don't feel motivated. One of the reasons we procrastinate is that we feel guilty or stressed about the work we have to do. But when you're on a dopamine detox, the goal is to break free from that stress and build a healthier relationship with work. Understand that some days will be harder than others, and that's okay. Instead of beating yourself up, focus on getting back on track. Every small step you take towards your goal, no matter how tiny, is progress. By following these strategies, you'll begin to see that doing the work isn't just about forcing yourself through difficult tasks. It's about building momentum, creating an environment that supports your focus, and getting into the habit of taking action. As you push past procrastination, you'll not only become more productive, but you'll also build a sense of pride and accomplishment that comes from working on things that truly matter. This process may take time, but with each step, you'll get closer to developing the discipline and focus that will serve you in all areas of your life. After completing your dopamine detox, you may feel a sense of clarity and control over your habits, but there's one final challenge to overcome: avoiding a dopamine relapse. This is the point where many people who have gone through a detox slip back into their old habits of seeking constant pleasure and instant gratification. It's normal to face this temptation, but knowing how to manage it is crucial for maintaining the benefits of your detox and continuing to improve your focus, productivity, and well-being. A dopamine relapse happens when you go back to old behaviors that trigger a flood of dopamine in your brain. This could be anything from scrolling through social media for hours, binge-watching shows, or playing video games for long periods. While these activities may offer short-term pleasure, they keep you trapped in the cycle of instant gratification, making it harder for you to enjoy the deeper, more fulfilling experiences that require patience and effort. To avoid this relapse, it's important to stay vigilant and proactive about your habits. One of the first steps in preventing a relapse is to identify your triggers, the specific situations, feelings, or times of day when you're most likely to slip into old patterns of behavior. For example, do you reach for your phone the minute you feel bored or anxious? Or do you turn on the TV when you're feeling tired and want to zone out? By recognizing your triggers, you can be more prepared to resist the urge and make better choices. When you feel the pull to engage in distracting behaviors, try to redirect your focus towards something that provides a slower, more meaningful reward. This could be reading a book, going for a walk, or practicing mindfulness. It's also helpful to reassess your boundaries regularly. While the detox process involves setting limits on technology and instant gratification, it's easy to become complacent over time. What worked during the detox may no longer be enough to keep you on track. Make sure to check in with yourself periodically to see if your boundaries are still effective. If you find yourself slipping into old habits, it's time to tighten those boundaries again. For example, you might set stricter time limits on social media use or decide to add more tech-free zones in your home. By constantly reevaluating and adjusting your boundaries, you can stay in control and avoid falling back into the same patterns of behavior. Another strategy to prevent a dopamine relapse is to replace old habits with new, healthier ones. Rather than simply cutting out the activities that give you instant gratification, focus on building new, positive habits that support your long-term goals. For instance, if you used to spend hours scrolling through your phone, replace that time with activities that nourish your mind or body, like journaling, practicing a hobby, or exercising. The key is to find new ways to keep yourself engaged and fulfilled, so you're not left with empty time that tempts you back into your old dopamine-driven habits. By replacing old habits with new ones that align with your values, you can continue to grow and improve without feeling deprived. It's also essential to practice self-compassion if you do slip up. The goal of a dopamine detox isn't perfection, it's about progress. If you find yourself relapsing and engaging in behaviors that you've worked hard to eliminate, don't beat yourself up. Instead, view the slip-up as an opportunity to learn. Ask yourself why you slipped into that behavior and what you can do to prevent it next time. The key is to get back on track quickly without letting guilt or frustration take over. Remember, breaking free from the cycle of instant gratification is a process, and setbacks are part of that journey. To make the detox last long-term, it's important to continue building your resilience against dopamine-driven distractions. This means creating habits that not only help you avoid relapse, but also make it easier to stay focused on your goals. Whether it's through exercise, meditation, or goal setting, continue to cultivate practices that strengthen your ability to resist temptations and stay on course. Over time, these practices will become second nature, and you'll find it easier to maintain a balanced, focused life without feeling the constant need for quick pleasure. Lastly, it's important to stay accountable to yourself and others. Share your goals with a friend, family member, or mentor who can check in with you regularly and help you stay focused. Knowing that someone else is aware of your progress can be a powerful motivator to stay on track. You might also consider joining a community of people who are working on similar goals, whether it's online or in person. This sense of connection and support can help you avoid feeling isolated in your journey and remind you that you're not alone in your efforts. By following these strategies, you can avoid a dopamine relapse and continue to reap the benefits of your detox. It's not about achieving perfection, but about creating a lifestyle that prioritizes long-term rewards over short-term pleasure. With time and practice, you'll build stronger mental discipline and find greater satisfaction in life's deeper, more meaningful experiences. The journey doesn't end after your detox. It's an ongoing process of growth and self-improvement. The dopamine detox offers a powerful way to break free from the cycle of distractions and instant gratification. By resetting your brain, you can regain focus, boost productivity, and find deeper satisfaction in meaningful activities. Though it's not easy, every step you take brings you closer to a more balanced, intentional life. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like it, subscribe for more content on self-improvement, and share it with anyone who might benefit from a dopamine detox. Leave a comment below to let me know your thoughts or how you plan to start your detox journey today.